Good day, brothers and sisters, and welcome to the study that we'll go to embark upon. And as can be seen, it's entitled Female Pants Wearing. Female Pants Wearing. And it's the hope that at the end of the study, we will have a clear understanding of this particular subject. And before we go any further, we're going to have a prayer thought. And our prayer thought is taken from the book Testimonies to Ministers, page 300. Also found in the book of Evangelism, also, page 118, paragraph 1. Inspiration says the following. Let me tell you that the Lord will work in this last work in a manner very much out of the common order of things, and in a way that will be contrary to any human planning. There will be those among us who will always want to control the work of God, to dictate even what movement shall be made when the work goes forward under the direction of the angel, who joins the third angel in the message to be given to the world. God will use ways and means by which it will be seen that he is taking the reins in his own hands. The workers will be surprised by the simple means that he will use to bring about and perfect his work of righteousness. So here we're told the Lord will take his charge of his work, and he will do things that will surprise many. And we just want to ask the Lord to help us that we don't work at cross purposes with him, because he will work out of the common order of things, but that we will be able to discern and see his workings and know that we are going to follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. On that note, let us say a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we invite your presence with us, and we ask you to teach us. Through Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Now, in going forward with this subject of female pants wearing, we're going to start with this particular statement from the Health Reformer, May the 1st, 1872, paragraph 3 over to 4. And Sister White states the following. We advocate that the limbs of women should not be exposed, but sensibly, neatly, and comfortably clad. Is this immodest? And we would say no. Many say they have no objections to the length of the dress, but they could never put on the pants. That's what some women were saying. They could never do it. She continues. They do not blush to witness the exposure of almost naked limbs. She is saying that you have women who see other women walking up and down all over the street almost with naked limbs showing, and they have no problem with it. They don't skin up their face and they don't say anything with these scantily dressed women. But the limbs thoroughly dressed with warm pants shock their modesty. Such opposition to the pants, which are positively modest and which protect the limbs from exposure and chilliness, should be supported by sensible reason. She continues, many say, so some people come back at Sister White, and many say, oh, the pants look so singular, like, whoa, why would I wear that, Sister White? Everybody stares, and women nudge or poke each other and look so comical. They are looking at the person with the pants on and making fun. And some laugh outright, especially in the time of Sister White. Especially then. Weighty reasons, she's asking, weighty reasons are these? Are these any argument with strong point why a woman should not wear pants? She said, whoa, these are not no reason. What if people want to stare? What if they want to look? What if they want to condemn or poke each other and make fun? It is not among the possibilities to get up anything so deforming and uncomfortable as the hump fashion places on the backs of women. So Sister White now is comparing. You have these fashions that they call hump fashion, probably some real heavy dresses, whatever the hump fashion was in those days, that Sister White says that's what you all should be making fun of. This uncomfortable stuff that you all are putting on. This and the looped, puffed, and ruffled over skirts are devoid of taste and beauty. These clothes that some of you all wear, it's no good. You're criticizing pants, and look at the type of clothes you're wearing. She goes on and she says, But these things are tolerated because they are fashionable. How could these slaves of such hideous fashions reasonably laugh at any manner of dress they should behold? And she's talking, these people that are wearing these things, how they could look at someone wearing a pants and criticize another woman. Our work shall be, by the grace of God, to preserve simplicity of dress and stand with moral independence in defiance of fashions that have no regard for natural beauty or physical law. So we see at the get-go, early in the days of the church, what was Sister White's stand on pants? Females wearing pants. And while some in the church were exclaiming they could never do it and that, people are going to stare at them, Sister White said, and what of it? You all look at women dressed not properly and you don't say anything. But a woman is wearing pants and you're criticizing? She continues in two selected message, page 478, paragraph 3. Sister White says the following. There is but one woman in 1,000 who clothes her limbs as she should. Whatever may be the length of the dress, females should clothe their limbs as thoroughly as the males. This may be done by wearing line pants gathered into a band and fastened about the ankle, or made full and tapering at the bottom, and these should come down long enough to meet the shoes. The limbs and the ankles thus clothed are protected against a current of air. If the limbs and feet are kept comfortable with warm clothing, the circulation will be equalized, and the blood will remain healthy and pure because it is not chilled or hindered in its natural passage through the system. And here Sister White is making the statement that the woman should dress properly and nothing is wrong with wearing the pants. She can fasten it at the waist with a band, and she can also make sure it goes onto the ankle. And so we see what was Sister White's position in the early days. Very, very forward thinking in a time that people looked upon and frowned at women wearing pants. And this, as you can see, is pretty much what it looked like. These are pictures from the 1800s. And you see a lady there beside a man, I presume probably it's her husband, and she's wearing a pants. And you can see to the right, you see the two men, and you see the two women to the right. And you see there, this is their historical collection. This is 1893. And in those days, that would be spoken against. And Sister White was saying, we don't follow the crowd, we follow sensible reasoning. And let's continue in the Golden Bowl. She says the following. The limbs should be clothed with pants, always cut from after an approved pattern, made tapering to meet the instep of the shoe. Custom and fashion will have their false standard of modesty and will feign to blush and appear horrified to see woman's limbs sensibly and healthfully dressed. We wish to have a sensible reason. We wish to have a sensible reason. So here Sister White is saying, you have to approach this point sensible. If it can be given for this blind opposition to the reformed dress. So as times were changing, Sister White was letting it know, inspiration, that it was okay. Sneers and ridicule and contempt, with some may be such convincing arguments that after they have adopted the modest and helpful short dress, when they meet opposition in this form, so they have adopted short dress, and when they meet opposition now for wearing pants, will retire from the ranks of dress reform and no more advocate it or have the courage to wear the reformed dress. Snares should be taken by sensible health reformers who move from principle for what they are worth. So some people used to wear short clothes. They accept the dress reform. And here inspiration is speaking and saying there is nothing wrong with wearing pants. And because of the stigma against it in those days, some people drew back. Ridicule and contempt cannot make one hair white or black. We want reason and intellect to take the field and the will to be subjected to the control of enlightened conscience. We design to be true to God and to the right. If there are sensible and strong reason which can be produced against the reform dress, here she's asking, if people can bring a real sensible argument why these things are wrong, let them bring it. She continues, we have yet to meet them. She said she has never seen anybody bring any concrete point. We are open to conviction until we see better arguments than, and this was the argument people saying, oh, it looks so I don't know, so probably they don't want to say bad because they're talking to Sister White. They might say, oh, it looks so to see women with pants. And she says, is that really an argument? Exclamation mark. Whoa. And she quotes what people are saying. These are quotation mark. She continue and she quotes the person or persons again. What will people say? She's like, and what if they want to talk? And some she go on and continue with the quotation. I would die before I would wear them. And you know what is a them? She's talking pants. She says, to settle the argument, we will continue to wear the reform dress or the dress standard. And the Lord was leading and revealing these things and letting Sister White know that nothing was wrong with it. It was okay. And she was going to speak. And only those who followed the Lamb understood what the Lord was doing. And this is pretty much how women used to dress in pants in the 1800s. And we can see how things started to evolve. And Sister White was saying, if it is properly made, designed right, it's okay. Now, the next argument some might come up with and say, well, Sister White, is that correct? Because in Deuteronomy, it says a woman should not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. So why would a woman want to wear a pants? She says, in this style of dress, God harder has been reserved and his special directions disregarded. She's going to explain how God's direction has been disregarded as it relates to Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. How can it be disregarded? The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a wedding's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. When Moses wrote Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5, Moses was not talking about pants, because there was no pants in existence then. Everybody that lived then wear a skirt. So what Moses is saying, whatever a woman wear, it must be distinguished from that what a man wears. It has to be, the design has to show that this is for woman and this is for man. She continues, this style of dress God would not have his people adopt. It is not modest apparel and is not at all fitting for modest, humble females who profess to be Christ's followers. God's prohibitions are lightly regarded by all who would advocate the doing away of the distinction of dress between males and females. So Sister White wasn't saying a female cannot wear a pants. She's saying, and we saw more than one occasion that she said a woman can wear the pants. She is now saying you have to have a distinction between the pants that female wear and the pants that male wears. Just the same in the Old Testament dispensation. When the people put on their skirts or their robes, whatever they put on, the females have to be distinguished from those of the male. The extreme positions taken by some dress reformers upon this subject cripple their influence. People become fanatical. Their influence is crippled because inspiration was saying you can wear the pants. Some are against it, and inspiration said, what influence are you going to have with these people who don't see anything wrong with wearing pants, especially when they're reading their Bible alone? Because there's nothing in the Bible that says a woman cannot wear a pants. So what are you going to use to persuade her if there's nothing written in the Bible? And if she takes up Sister White's writings, here inspiration is saying that she can wear it. We continue. God designed there should be a plain distinction between male and female dress. That's what Deuteronomy is saying. There should be a plain distinction between the two. We continue. In health, we go back to the health review. And Sister White continues. She says this in the following. We have May 1st, 1872, paragraph 14. Do not adopt this style of dress to be odd, that we may attract notice. She said, we do not adopt this style of dress to be odd, that we may attract notice. What's the style of dress? We do not differ from the common style of fashionable dress for any such object. So what Sister White is saying? When the world moves its standard, you cannot just stay still and not change or upgrade your dress wear, because you become weird. It's like sometimes you look at some people who dress and they have clothes that are 30, 40 years old, very old clothes. And you cannot go back to the children of Israel, say they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years and they wore the same clothes, because there was no clothing store, there was no place for them to go and make new clothes and all this stuff. So they had to wear the stuff that they had, that they left Egypt with. But we are not in the wilderness wandering around in the desert for 40 years. But people do have clothes, very old clothes sometimes you can be seen. And this becomes a turn off to people who will see the truth, love the truth. And they're looking at these people and said, look, are these people really people who believe in God? Their clothes look tattered. They don't look like they have updated their clothes in 40, 50 years. And sometimes that is the case with some people. And Sister White is saying from this, we do not differ from the common style of fashionable dress for any such object. So you're not adapting and you're not putting off. You're walking in the middle of the road. We choose to agree with others in theory and in practice. If we can do so and at the same time be in harmony with the law of God and with the laws of our being. So whatever you wear, properly fitting, you're walking with the time, the trend, and you are going along following the Lamb, whithersoever you go it. Some people, men, they have ties that have a lot of flowers on the ties. It's flowery design. Those ties are outdated today. So when people see you with these ties with a lot of flowers on it, they know that you had those ties from 20, 30 years ago. But things have changed. Now neckties are plain in color. A lot of things are the same thing with dress. And Sister White says we harmonize as much as possible. So when the pants was coming in, Sister White said there was nothing wrong with it. We believe it wrong to differ from others, unless it be necessary to differ in order to be right. In bearing the cross of adopting the reform dress, because in making these changes, even some people in the church would have been criticizing. We are led by a sense of duty. And although it may appear objectable to those who are governed by fashion, because it was not fashionable then, we claim that it is the most convenient, the most truly modest, and the most helpful style of dress worn by woman. I know she started off in the same book dealing with pants. And so Inspiration, Sister White was very, very clear. If you put in a search and put in women and pants in Sister White's writings, you will see it come up over and over. She advocated that it's okay for women to wear pants. She said what you have to do though is make sure that it's distinguished from that of the ones worn by men. Okay, we continue. Now, in 1944, a question came in to Brother Houteff. Usually how questions will come in, probably let's say Brother John saw Sister so-and-so on the street, somewhere on the road walking, and Brother so-and-so might say to Sister Dash, or Brother John say to Sister Dash, Sister Dash, why are you wearing pants outside? She said, well, I've read the Bible and never seen anything wrong with it. I've read Sister White's writings and she said it's okay. And so I feel it's okay to wear my pants. So you might say, well, I don't know about that, sister. I'm going to write the office and find out. So the question came in, 117. Is it all right, this question came to Brother Houteff, for a woman to wear slacks And the word slacks just mean pants. It's an old word. Slacks while engaging in defense work. Question: are they not men's garments? Are they not men's garments, pants? And this question is asked, slacks or skirts? Which one? Brother Houteff, if the wearing of slacks or pants should be restricted to men, because men today universally wear trousers, then anciently skirts should have been denied women, because that garment was then the common grab of men. So Brother Houteff is saying, if you're saying women cannot wear pants because men wear pants or trousers or slacks, in the past women should not have worn skirts because men and women used to wear skirts. So your argument that you brought in, it is not logical. He continues, as both men and women then wore skirts, the question should not be as to whether skirts or slacks should be always, skirts or slacks should be always, one or the other, should be always or occasionally worn by the women. So you can't bring the question to say women should always wear skirts, and some women who like pants cannot come and say women should always wear pants. So now we have the occasional and we have the always. So which one are we going to go with? He's going to continue. But as to whether, so you shouldn't argue about the always or the occasion, but the question should be as to whether the dress, the way or your dress of the women should be precisely like the dress of the men. He said, don't argue about if the woman is wearing slacks or pants and you bring up defense work. Brother Houteff just went straight in. That's not the issue, whether she wear pants or not. It's already in the golden bowl from Sister White that it's okay. No, the point is, we're going back to what Sister White had said, that there should be a distinction between the pants of the man and the pants of the woman. And you can't argue whether she should wear it sometimes or all the time. So she must always be in skirt, or somebody arguing she should always be in pants. That's not the point. Anything you wear, it should be a distinction. He continues, let us remember that there is no Bible command as to what form of dress the church laity should wear, save the command that it should be modest, not costly. The reference is there. And why he said the church laity? Because the only people that the Lord gave the distinction how they should dress was the Levitical priests. But the laity, there was nothing in the Bible how they should dress. So when the questioner brought up the point, are not the slacks or the pants that the woman is wearing a men's garments, he's going back to the Deuteronomy. And so Brother Houteff is telling him, you cannot use the Bible because there's nothing in the Bible that tells you exactly how people should dress. He go on, and that a man should be distinctive from that of a woman. That's all it says. The woman, says the Lord, shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. Deuteronomy 22 verse 5. Brother Houteff says exactly what Sister White said. Same thing, same spirit. And Brother Houteff is saying the same thing that Sister White is saying. You cannot stop the woman from wearing her pants. Now some Davidians will go and say, well, Brother Houteff made this statement in 1944. Is he going to change his mind and tell the women that they should not wear their pants? Some Davidians are of that opinion because they say this 1944 statement, Brother Houteff did give credence that women can wear pants, but it has to be distinguished from those of the men. He was saying the very same thing that Sister White was saying. And in the 1940s, this is the commercials we're looking at. These are people selling pants or suits. And you see what the style used to be. They were distinguished from that of a man. Totally distinguished. And this is why Brother Houteff was saying, if she's wearing the pants, it has to be distinguished and separate from the ones that men wear. Same thing. And so the designs had modernized more from in Sister White's time in the 1800s. And both of these are commercials that run in the paper, because as we know, they didn't have Amazon and all that things. The commercial would go out and you place your order. You send your money, they mail the stuff to you and the size. Brother Houteff continues. And this again is what women wore. These are pictures from the 1940s. And the pants they wore was distinguished and different from that of the man. And so Brother Houteff was saying, you can't go to the Bible, Deuteronomy, and say it applies to the women. Because in Deuteronomy, all the point was bringing out that women and men, whatever they wear, must be distinguished from that of each other. But nothing was wrong with them wearing the pants. We continue with Brother Houteff. He continues with the same point, and we are at Answer Book 5, 35 over to 37. Same came out in 1944. He says, now, if slacks or pants have the distinctive appearance of a garment pertaining to a woman, then they cannot be classed as a man's apparel. So what he's saying is that you writing in this question, but that's not the real point. If the man is dressed distinguished and different from that of the woman, and the woman is dressed distinguished from that of the man, and both of them are wearing pants, it's okay. And Sister White and Brother Houteff are saying the same thing because it's the same spirit that's in them. He continues. There is another phase to the question to be considered. So Brother Houteff said, I've settled that. It is settled, and so she can wear it. But he's saying, I'm going to bring out another point to the argument that must be considered. If the garment is modest, not extravagant, made to meet the need of the wearer, not the caprice of the world's ever-changing styles, then we see no evil in wearing it. And you know what is it? Pants. He's saying, listen, don't go out and spend a lot of money, extravagant, or follow the ever-changing style. As something comes in, you're changing, spending money. He said no. And make it modest, or wear it that it fits you, the wearer. Don't wear anything tight or something too big. Just wear something okay. He said there's nothing wrong with wearing pants. We think that modern slacks or pants are much better than the short, immodest dresses. And sometimes you go out and you see women sitting down and they're constantly trying to pull down their skirt. It's too short. Or sometimes a woman has on a skirt. It might be at her knee length when she stands, as we can see here. It might be at her knee. But when she sits, the skirt goes up. What Brother Houteff is saying, if you have a woman with a skirt and you have a woman with a pants, as you can see from the depiction before you, he says, we think that modern slacks or pants are much better than the short, immodest dresses. And so this is what Sister White was saying. She was saying sometimes sisters see other women on the street. They're not dressed properly and they're wearing skirts. Sometimes short skirts, sometimes their limbs are showing, and they don't frown at it. And they see a woman in a pants and they're making up their face. And she's saying it is not proper thinking. So here Brother Houteff is saying the same thing. Some might say, well, Brother Houteff wrote some more about women and pants in 1949, and we should really go with the 1949 statement and not the 1944 statement. Because in the Answer Book 5, 1944, Brother Houteff was given credence for women to wear pants. But it seems that in 1949 he changed his mind. But he didn't change his mind. And we're going to go to the 1949 statement soon. But let's continue with what he has to say in Answer Book 5. He continues, but even slacks or pants publicly worn do not afford to a woman that modest appearance of Christian apparel. He said, listen, when you put on the pants, you can know that it does not give the modest appearance of a Christian apparel. So you can say, well, Brother Houteff, how can the woman wear a pants and it gives the modern or the modest appearance of a Christian apparel? How could she put on the pants, Brother Houteff, and she still look like a modern Christian. He said, let me read it again. But even slacks publicly worn do not afford to do a woman that modest appearance of a Christian apparel, except if she wants to appear modest and look like a Christian in her pants, she has to do this. Except she does this, it's not going to work. Except it mean the pants be on a certain occasion. So she, the woman, has to know where she's going. If she wants to know that she's going to church, she couldn't wear this to church. It wouldn't look proper in church. It wouldn't give the appearance of a Christian woman in church in her pants. So she has to know the occasion where she's wearing the pants. She has to choose the occasion. Or, so that's one, certain occasion, or at a certain work, so she can wear it on certain occasion, or at certain work, when, or where the dress is an hindrance. The slack must not replace the neat and modest dress that becomes a Christian woman. She has to know that her pants doesn't permanently replace her dress or her wardrobe. She has to know on which occasion she's going to wear it and which occasion she's not going to wear it. She makes that decision, not me, nor you. She, the woman, makes the decision when she's going to wear it and when she's not going to wear it. If she doesn't want to wear her pants, that's her decision. If she wants to wear it sometimes, that's her decision. We do not judge. And Brother Houteff left it on her to decide which occasion and which occasion she's not. If she's wearing it, the style it must be in, distinct and separate from that of a man. He goes on, if, and this is just if, it is up to the individual. If, though, the wearing of the slacks is required of one who works in a plant, then we see nothing wrong in wearing them in working hours. She can wear them in working hours too, and she's going to be in the public because she's at work. And workplace have more than one people that will look at her. But as men look at her in her pants, they must see that it is distinguished from that of the man's. And if she has to wear it on a certain occasion to go out, it must be distinguished from that of the man. Clear. Now some say, well, we see in 1944 Brother Houteff was following Sister White, or him and Sister White was walking step by step. But they say this statement was written in 1949. In the 1949 statement, they say Brother Houteff seemed to have changed his mind. And so people start with the word they. I'm going to read from the word they. And he's talking about pants. This is what Davidians read. They are not to be worn in public places or on the street. So they say, see, this is what he said in 1949. That's not what he said. Look at the two words in purple. Work, pants. In 1949, when Brother Houteff wrote the statement in Answer Book 5, some people like they still didn't want to accept what inspiration is saying, because Brother Houteff and Sister White was saying the same thing. So in 1949, Brother Houteff wrote on the issue again, but this time he already deal with pants as a general topic. But now he zooms in and he's dealing with now work pants. He said, we are dealing with work pants. Davidians, a lot of Davidians, over the years, when they were reading the statement, they took off the word work and leave the word pants alone. When they're reading it, they do not see the word work. They just see the word pants. And when he starts and he said they just start with the word they means pants. The they don't mean pants. The word they means work pants. He said they, work pants, are not to be worn in public places or on the street. Now if you see a woman in the garden in her work pants, he's saying do not take that pants and go on the street. While you are told in Answer Book 5 in 1944 that you can go on the road in pants, some women might have gone on the road in dirty pants. And people from the church see them and said, this Davidian sister have on pants, she looks so unkept. Brother Houteff says, do not wear the work pants on the road. Don't go on the street in it. Now, if you're in the hospital and you're a sister and you work in your scrub and you're at work, those are work clothes. He said, try not to go on the public street in it. Do your best. So you might be walking out of the hospital and going in your car to go home. Well, you do that quickly, but don't go on the road and walk like that. You're in Walmart, or you're in the store, the supermarket, or you're just in the market walking up and down in your work clothes. He said it looks unsightly, unkept. It doesn't represent the king. They are not to be worn in public places or on the street, but only in such occupations as would render dresses immodest or dangerous. And so that's where you keep them. This is where you wear them. Even then, they, work pants, are to be of the style designed strictly for women, not for men. Wear cutlets, and that's female pants that's designed for women. Cutlets are clothes that are designed distinguished for women. That's what he said he must do. So when the Fidians have read this over the years, they take off the word work and put just the word pants. And Brother Houteff says, listen, I have not changed what I wrote in 1944. It's the same spirit. All I'm telling you, when a woman goes on work, whether in her garden or wherever she wear, and she have on this work pants, it's not appropriate for her to go outside like that on the street. Don't do it. And this is what he meant. We go to these questions. And these are some questions that people might ask, and we think it's fair to answer. 1. It might be asked, we can't just pretend that we always were allowed to wear pants. And the answer is yes. Women did wear pants too at Mount Carmel. Sister White advocated wearing pants from her days. Brother Houteff says it's okay for women to wear pants. But because of the misunderstanding of 2T38 that use the word work pants, the Vidians have taken off the word work and just left the word pants. And you know what? It's like herding. One cow or two cows go in one place and the rest will start to follow. They don't know where they're going, They're just following. So what has happened is that most people don't know what was Sister White's position, what was the answer book 5 position, and what 2TG38 was saying. People did not know. They did not know. And so the association is bringing these things out clearly to people that they can understand what's the Lord's position, what has always been in the golden bowl. Question, again, why did Davidian women not wear pants until recently, even ladies at Bashan? Answer, in the permissible situations where they could have worn pants but didn't, there was, as explained above, and we're going into TG38, a strong cultural taboo among Davidians on pants wearing. Strong cultural taboo just based on 2TG38. That common practice broadened into an almost total prescription of pants wearing under any circumstances. So while women do and did wear pants at Bashan occasionally doing work or certain things that they're doing, because of the 2TG statement, 2TG38 statement, many people who came in the message just followed those who were there before. Even when people read answer book 5, they still couldn't comprehend it. And to brush some people off, what some people did in the old days, some might have said, and especially some men, that the 2TG38 statement was the predominant statement, it was the latest statement that we should go to. But the 2TG38 statement was not contradicting the answer book 5 statement. They were walking in sync. All Brother Houteff said that you should not wear on the street is your work pants. And that's obvious. If you're in the garden, if you do a certain type of work, it is very immodest to take that same clothes on you're gone out in the street or gone to take care of business. And some people don't care. Sometimes you're in the bank and people come in from work, they're very dirty and they're right in the line. And regardless of who they are, people judge them because the Bible says man judge it by the outward appearance. And that was what happened for the Davidian people years upon years. Some people are for the first time now just understanding the subject because they thought that the golden bowl or the Bible forbade women from wearing pants. Next question. We can't pretend that we have all misunderstood Brother Houteff on pants wearing for women. Yes. Yes. People have. And people have misunderstood Sister White too. And people have misunderstood the Bible. It's not difficult. And it's a reason why the Lord is helping us to understand. Because the Lord is saying there are going to be a lot of people coming in the message soon. A lot. And they are going to be wearing their pants. And people are going to go to them and tell them that you can't wear the pants. And you ask them, where is it written? The only place they're going to try to go to them and show is 2TG38. But that's not what Brother Houteff is saying. That's the only place Davidians can go to try to persuade people. And that's not what it was saying. It says, present truth advances as is necessary for each generation, even in things like dress and health matters. It has ever been like this, and it has always caused a problem for some who, while they may have a great intellectual understanding of the rod, do not have a deep spiritual connection to the Lord. And this is what from Sister White was trying to say to them. And now what is happening? This is just an unfolding of what's inside the golden bowl. And people have never seen it. And so people tie themselves to their customs and tradition. These ladies at Carmel and Bashan wear pants all the time. They did on certain occasions. They did at Mount Carmel wear pants. And Mount Carmel was a place with a lot of people living there. More than 70 people. So when a woman wore pants there, she was wearing it in the public. And yes, women have worn pants at Bashan too. But as I said, people just adapted and misunderstood 2TG38 over the years. It says, we need a clear distinctive on how to teach the acceptable wearing of pants. And now you know what the Lord is doing? The Lord is using the Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Association at Bashan Hill as updated the dress standard so as to stay in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road. And why is God doing all of these things? He has his people in the church. He has them there. Genuine Christian people. And they are going to be coming in very soon. And the Lord is getting all of us straightened out to understand what inspiration would have us to understand, to see. And it doesn't matter how many years people have been reading the rod. What the Lord is doing now and reading Sister White's writings is to let us know that if we are not plugged into the 7 tubes that comes out of the golden bowl, extracts the oil from the golden bowl, the true understanding, we will not have light. We cannot have light, and we will think that we know, and the Lord is going to show us that we don't know. And this is what inspiration is saying. If a woman wears a pants, it has to be distinguished from that of the man. It has to be with class, simplicity, not of the ever-changing style. And she must know the occasion on which she's going to wear it. And the Lord is saying he is going to bring the people in. They're in the church. And some of them are genuine Christian people. And the Lord has put it in the message already. And the Lord is telling us as Davidians that, listen, you have been following tradition, not the rod. And this is something that people have to understand. Because people have condemned other people all the time. And here Brother Houteff is saying, if she wants to, from the Answer Book 5 statement, to wear the pants, she doesn't have to follow the fashion of the world. She must wear it distinguished from that of men. Modest, and she can maintain her dignity as a woman. And she chooses the occasion. And if you go to another continent, let's say we go to Ghana, or we're in Nigeria, or we're in Zambia, or we're in Senegal, or somewhere else, Kenya, people have their own different style. But inspiration is saying, if the woman is wearing her pants, it has to be distinguished from that of the man. Give her class and dignity. She is not wearing this to the church, but she chooses the occasion that she's wearing it. And the Lord is telling us that nothing is wrong with wearing it from Sister White's days, from the Bible, to right now we're coming to the up-to-date map of truth. And only those who follow the Lamb, whithersoever he goeth, will understand. Because some people hear about pants, and all of a sudden they fly up and say it's wrong. And they can't show you where it's wrong. They go to 2TG38. And 2TG38, as I've said before, over and over, is talking about work pants for female. So inspiration is making it known. She decides the occasion. She knows where she's going to go. She might be going out for a walk in the park with her and her children. She might be going for a climb up the mountain. She might just be going out at the zoo, and she decides what she's going to wear. But the Lord is saying she might have a business meeting and she find a pantsuit that she wants to wear. Here inspiration is saying she is staying in the middle of the road. She cannot wear it if it pertains to a man. And Sister White saying it goes down to her shoe. She has proper dress and she's representing the Lord. She doesn't wear anything to attract attention. We continue. Sister White, she said ridicule and contempt cannot make one hair white or black. People laughing and whispering and talking. We want reason and intellect to take the field. That's what Christians have to go. Go with intellect and reason. Don't just talk and talk and talk. And the will to be subjected to the control of enlightened conscience. We design to be true to God and to the right. We design to be true to God and to the right. We are not following head bowl. We are following the golden bowl. If there are sensible and strong reasons which can be produced against the reformed dress, we have yet to meet them. Sister White said all the talk is just talk. We are open to conviction. Come, bring forth your strong reason until we see better arguments than, oh, it looks so to see women in pants. What will people say? I would die before I would wear them. Sister White saying that is not it. You are not my criteria and I am not your criteria. So if you see the woman in her pants, there's nothing to condemn it. Once it's not tight, unbecoming, but she's in the middle of the road. And this is why inspiration is telling us that a lot of young people are going to finish the work. Because a lot of people are older in the message. They have followed this thing and they have not been following the golden bowl. And it's going to be difficult for them to give up their old ideas. And if they even see someone coming in a pants, moderate, and in the middle of the road, they're still going to find something to condemn. Although the Lord is saying, back off to them, they're not going to listen. But these things are going to be a stumbling block for many. Now, if you look at this, you would see the change of style over the years. You see Ephesus, or the people, or the men dressed. Smyrna, Pergamos, number 3, Thyatira, Sardis. And when you come to the Laodicean church, you see the change. If somebody from the Laodicean church had gone back in time to the church in Ephesus in his clothes, they would wonder what kind of dress he's wearing. And if somebody from the church of Smyrna, number 2, come dressed like that in the church of Laodicea, we would say, what kind of clothes are you wearing? That's not befitting for a clothes and style in this time. And so what we see, fashion changes over time. And this is why when women started to wear pants, Sister White said it was okay because the fashion was changing. And she said all we have to make sure we do is to stay in the middle of the road. Now let's say Jesus Christ did not come for 300 more years and we should be taken in the future. Do you know that our clothes that we now have today would look so outdated and change? Clothes would change. We would probably look at them and like they're wearing space suit, different kind of dress. And as you look at this, you see how fashion changes over time. And this is what Sister White was saying to the people in her time. Don't frown and look upon it, because after a while these things are going to become common. And Brother Houteff again in Answer Book 5 was telling the people, stay in the middle of the road. Don't just change a fashion as it comes out. Make sure you do it. Modest dress, modest, don't expend a lot of money, and stay in the middle of the road. You're wearing your pants, make sure it's distinguished from that of the man's. Now, we're going to have an update in dress again. When the 144,000 are sealed and saved and stand on Mount Zion with the Lamb, obviously we're going to have a new updated dress standard again. And it's a possibility that the 144,000 in the kingdom might wear a distinguished dress different from everyone else, just as the high priest's dress was different from the other priests. But only those who follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth will be saved. And this is why The Lord is using His ordained Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Association to bring these things us to out now so clear, because we are so close to eternity. And we had a mistaken understanding for years. That's just a fact. Many people are for the first time understanding this subject so clear. But God is good, and He's opening our eyes, our heart, our understanding before it's too late. So may God bless you. May He cause His face to shine upon you. May He grant you His peace. And we have come to the end of all things. The world is coming to an end. The sign is all around us. And this is the reason too, one of the reasons why the Lord is bringing out these things, to show clearly where His chariot is, where His association is, who He's ordering and leading to direct His work. Let us pray. Father in heaven, You have not said in vain, let them feed in Bashan. You mean it. And this is the association You are using and will use, not only to gather the 144,000, but this is the association and the message that You're going to use for us to plead with Mother and to save the sincere in the church. Help us to cooperate with You, O Father, to follow You wherever You go it, and to surrender our wills to You. Through Jesus Christ's name we pray. We close with a song from our musical department.
Let my heart be filled with love, overflowing from above. Make me careful, make me wise, with Your truth before my eyes. I will walk in justice, walk in grace, patient in trials, steady in place. Give me the heart of a Davidian, pure and strong, a love that never wavers, a faith that sings along. Christ is my rock, my refuge still, standing in grace on Bashan's hill. No more fear and no more doubt. Lord, You cast the darkness out. I will stand with steady hands, rooted deep in Your commands. Not by power, not by might, but by Your Spirit shining bright. Jesus, my Savior, King of all, on Bashan's hill I hear Your call. Give me the heart of a Davidian, pure and strong, a love that never wavers, a faith that sings along. Christ is my rock, my refuge still, standing in grace on Bashan's hill. Not by power, not by might, but by Your Spirit shining bright. Jesus, my Savior, King of all, on Bashan's hill I hear Your call. On Bashan's hill I hear Your call. hear your call.
God bless you, and let them feed in Bashan. Bye for now.